Welcome back to the front porch, folks. This is a response to HT's why knives and why YouTube. I don't know if I can explain why YouTube. I'm still trying to figure that one out, but I can do the knives, and I believe I was way back when. I was 8 years old, and my dad was a huge, huge knife guy. I mean, he just lived and breathed knives, and specifically buck. Um, he had everything under the sun for buck. Uh, uh, Fixed blades, lockbacks, slip joints. I mean, he had it all. Whetstones, T-shirts. He had it. It was just a lot. So my dad, he gave me my first pocket knife when I was probably 8 years old, and I've still got it. A little, it's not in the best of shape in the world, but a little Barlow, and needless to say, I put this one through nine kinds. It's got a little dent on the bolster right there, and it was just a little cheap pocket knife that Dad gave me to start with, and he knew it wouldn't last, but believe it or not, I still got it. So I've carried it fishing a lot, and I've wielded everything under the sun with it. So you probably used it for stuff I shouldn't have, but Dad always packed a buck 301. So my next knife he gave me was a buck 301. Now this ain't the one. I lost it years and years ago. Probably done stuff I shouldn't have with it, but he thought the buck 301 was probably the best pocket knife in the world, and it's a good one. It really is. It's a good one. But I always liked something bigger, and but I carried one for years, and I was probably in my 20s, and I wanted to go a little bigger, and so I ended up getting the buck 307. Now this ain't the same one. I lost it, and but I had to get another one to put up, and it's a great knife. And I carried slip joints for years, a long time, and until I was probably let's see, I was in my mid 30s before I got my first modern, and that one was a Spyderco Tenacious. Now, this ain't the same one. Don't know where it went, but I used it forever. And I had a friend of mine, really, really good friend of mine, and he was a little bit younger than I was, and he tried to follow in my footsteps on a lot of stuff. And I told him, I was a big buck fan, and he he found a buck Strider collab, and he bought it, one just like this one, and which I'd already had the Tenacious, and there was no reason for me to buy another knife. I wasn't going to spend any money on knives, and but he bought that one, and I thought that was just, man, that was just something else. I had never seen anything with that handle grip, and the ergonomics on it were just unreal, and I loved it. But I never pulled the trigger and got one, and so this went on for several years, me packing that Tenacious, and because I didn't know anything super expensive existed. Well, it got to be around 2021, somewhere around there. My son decided to get into some upper class knives, and he got into Hinders, and which I really liked. I liked the Hinder, but I always come back to that. That just, man, that was just unreal, and And I started doing some research, and he asked me, he said, you want to get a hinder? I said, no. I said, if I want to get an upper class one, which I don't see me doing, because they're high dollar. I don't see me spending that kind of money. I think I'd like to get a real Strider. And I still remember it to this day. He said, why don't you try to find something that's almost impossible to find? And I said, I know. Maybe one day I'll get one. And, well, it rolled around, and next thing I know, he gets one. And I said, oh, my goodness, that's pretty. And then it got the itch. And I really wanted one. And so I got to looking around, and man, it's just high dollar. And so I ended up going with looking at the ProTech. And this is the one that I ended up going with. And I had the good ergonomics on it, but it still didn't scratch the itch. And the itch was a full Strider. And so I kept looking, and I finally found one. And I got the SMF, the DLC full stealth, which was just like his. And boy, from that moment on, I was hooked. And it didn't take much for me to go looking for another. So I guess that's my progression on why knives. And to this day, slip joints, they got a special fond place in my heart. And I've got several in my collection, and I've added a lot recently, just from the YouTube channels, and I've watched a lot of them. HT's really, got me. I guess Slip Joint Sawyer's the first one that got me on slip joints, back into them, because I'd put mine up, and I started watching some of his videos, and then I moved over to HT's videos, and that's where I ended up. So 9 times out of 10, usually I'll pack an SMF or an S&G in the sheath. I'll throw a slip joint in the pocket, and that's my daily routine. Sometimes I'll throw a fixed blade on there, but you can usually always find me with a Strider slapped on my waist and a slip joint in my pocket. So, but anyway, that's my story, and I know it rambled on a little bit, but it started out with a slip joint Barlow, and went all the way up to where I'm at today with my pride and joy Striders. A lot of people don't like them, but boy, I do. So y'all have a blessed day, and I'm thinking about you. Bye.